in the Tour of the Basque Country. We're coming into the decisive moments of today's race. Quite a different type of climb to yesterday. It's a long, dragging climb, this first category climb. Christophe Lemavelle, the Frenchman riding for Garmin-Cervelo, is doing his work on the front now to try and keep the pace ultra high and make sure that nobody gets a jump on them. I would suggest, but I don't know. It's just keeping it super high, maybe try and kill a few people off, but it doesn't seem to be working.
They only got about 3 kilometers to go to the top of the mountain, so it's gonna have to.
There's gonna be some tired legs tonight from the Garmin-Cervelo boys.
Yeah.
There's a problem, isn't it? Especially if the weather becomes dreadful towards the end of the week, or even very, very hot. If you've spent all the energy of your riders early on in the week and Ryder Hezerdal needs help, it puts them under pressure, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Tell you what, this guy on the front here, Mario Fischer, such an underrated rider, I think.
Do you think so?
Yeah, I do think so. I mean, he's a man who clearly is capable of climbing quite well, and he also has a very, very, very good sprint on him. I don't think they kind of use him enough to win bike races. They kind of give him more of a domestique role an awful lot, and I reckon if they just looked after him a little bit more and kind of got him to do a bit less work, and I reckon he could win a lot more.
It's interesting because he really started his life as a sprinter.
Yeah.
People know about him, and then he's matured into this sort of domestique role. There's Ivan Basso, first time we've seen wheel of Christian van der Velde. Some really big names up towards the front now, and there is Luis Leon Sanchez. This is a perfect climb for him.
Yeah,
absolutely perfect. Not too steep. 8.5% is the average. I mean, it's steep, but it's constant once you've got your rhythm going. It's Tom Danielson on the front ahead of Christian van der Velde, both of Garmin-Cervelo, then Ivan Basso of Liquigas leader, then Luis Leon Sanchez of Rabobank. Another rider coming up towards them. Whoop, there we go. One of the Geox riders has gone off the front, deciding to get Ardilia. Maurizio Ardilia. And that's a pretty smart move by Ardilia.
Yeah.
Because everybody else is going to be looking at each other, and he's no real threat in the overall at the moment. I tell you what, they shouldn't let him get away too much, though. This poor chap, when he first came to Europe and got taken on by Rabobank, he felt absolutely miserable, as is the want of Northern European racing. He went up to the Low Countries, sat there in an apartment, nobody to speak to, didn't speak the language, and I don't think he found it a nice place to be at all. It took him a long time to settle into European racing.
Yeah. It's not easy to make that big move, is it?
Is it? What was it like for you? And we're going just before we get to the top of the climb here. What did you feel like when you first arrived, say in Italy or France?
Well, I didn't really have any problems to adapt, to be honest with you. I've been reasonably blessed with the language years. I learned the language very, very quickly and kind of slotted into to general life. I mean, I lived in Belgium for the more part of my career, which is a place that really suited me and suited my lifestyle and my training and everything else. So, I only really sort of spent time with the sort of Italians and French when I was out on races, and I always got on well with it.
Whereabouts in Belgium do you live?
Waregem.
Waregem. Still some big names here. Alexander Kolobnev is the Russian champion there in your shot. Rodriguez is still there. This is good. This is good by Maurizio Ardilia now. He's gone over the top of the climb, or was that one?
No, it was 5 kilometres.
5 kilometre banner, sorry.
So we're looking at 2k to go to the top.
Yep. Maurizio Ardilia has managed to pull out a decent-ish gap. At the moment, it's a question, I think, if he can may be able to get there first, but will he be able to get down the other side first? That's the big thing.
Yeah.
Now we start seeing them here. Ryder Hezerdal following the wheels of Rigoberto Urán. Urán puts a dig in, testing some legs here now.
Yeah, that was a short but sharp effort.
Who at the front here is the Katusha rider.
thought it might have been Caruso, to be honest.
Yeah, Gianpaolo Caruso could well have been. Looks like him, yeah. Movistar now up towards the front, pushing the pace a little bit. Ryder Hazerdal of Garmin Cervelo is finally left. He's finally come to the front and left there by himself. There's the team who've done their job, their duty. Meanwhile, up ahead, Maurizio Ardilia, who's thought, I tell you what, I'll have a go at this one. Has shot off.
Schleck.
Is that
Kirienka,
yeah. Vasily Kirienka goes with Frank Schleck coming up to his wheel.
That's a dangerous move.
People are going to have to watch that, aren't they? Kirienka is, well, not much left
Chris
of
Horner coming.
Yeah. Not much left of Ardilia's lead there now, is there?
No, definitely not. Koenigo is trying to get back onto that group as well.
Yep. And I think the rider from HTC, is that Konstantin Svetsov?
May very well have been, yeah. 1 kilometre to the top.
4 kk to go then until the finish line today at Lecumberri. But finally, although Ardilia's got a little bit of a lead, some of the big guns are wheeling the howitzers out. A little bit of a dig by Vasily Kirienka, straight onto the wheel by Frank Schleck, and Chris Horner responding very well, I have to say. There is Schleck, the Luxembourg national champion, with Vasily Kirienka sitting down in the saddle, just very much his style. As he gets there, he just turns the gear. There is Damiano Cunego coming across. Rigoberto Urán of the Sky team, the young Colombian. Ardila is passed by this leading group of riders as Frank Schleck just turns the pace, turns on the gas a little bit here.
Certainly putting a little bit of pressure on Chris Horner.
Rodriguez.
Sammy Sanchez.
Yep. That's the one everybody's working for. Who else is going to come in after those two? Straight past Rigoberto Urán, who's suffering now. Is that David Lopez of the Movistar team? I think it is. Yep, I think it's David Lopez. He's got Kirienka just up the road, and Lopez very well placed overall, 6 seconds down. He's a very talented rider as well, David Lopez.
Yeah. Well, we're starting to thin out a little bit here now.
Yeah, this is now good stuff.
Gesink on the front there doing all the work in that sort of the larger part of that group, with Kloden just behind.
Yep, Vnukourov comes across the gap for Astana to join the leading group. It's gradually coming back together. Who's the man in no man's land? Is that Louis Sion? No. Somebody's going to dig again in a minute and try going for it.
Basso's under pressure,
isn't he just? As is Jürgen van den Broek. Two riders at the back they are. Jürgen van den Broek is the one with the vertical stripes down his back, and the white and lime green is Javier Tondo.
Yeah. Look at Chris Horner going straight after him again.
It's turning a massive gear compared to some of the other climbers. Straight on the wheel. Not going to let that one go. Was Sanchez, I think.
Yeah, Sanchez.
Jürgen van den Broek is hanging up a grim death at the back here with Ivan Basso just ahead of him. I think, is that Cataldo in there again? For Quick-Step, or is it Silveriz? Up at the front here, the Quick-Step rider. Sprinting towards the line. Over the top of the climb. As Javier Tondo looks over his shoulder, and Vasily Kirienka. Movistar have got 4 riders up here. Look at this. Kirienka puts the glasses on. Look out for 133 is David Lopez. If you see them descending, he's the best placed Movistar man on the general classification. Here we go. This is going to be fun.
You're going to
have to sprint down the hill to get back on. Go on, lad. You can do it. The rider with him is Gorka Verdugo.
Vinokurov coming on the left.
Vinokurov being shadowed immediately by Kirienka.
Yeah,
that's a good pairing.
That's a dangerous little move, you know, when you drift off the front like that and no one's really taking too much notice. All of a sudden you got 30-40 metres and yeah, this man's been left isolated a little bit, hasn't he?
Yeah, I'd say so. There's not many other, well, there's no other riders from his team up there.
No.
And there's only a handful of seconds separating the top, what, 10 men?
And look at this now, there's a group of about 5 riders and there's probably 5 seconds.
Yep, and 2 kilometres to go as they go under the banner. Joaquim Rodriguez, the race leader, under the banner, goes on the inside of Ivan Basso. There is Frank Schleck, number 92. Robert Gesink is also there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 seconds. Yeah, it looks like they're going to sprint in for the line. They're going to have to try and drag him back. Is Rabobank doing the work on the front here?
Yeah, I think it is.
5 strong men up ahead, though. Alexander Vinokurov, Vasily Kirienka. I'm not sure who the other 2 are.
That's Kirienka. Oh, we don't want to do that. You do not want to do that. Leave Kirienka with 30-40 metres and get a bit of wind on your nose. You're going to struggle to bring him back.
Yeah, they certainly is. 1 kilometre to go. I think it's game over, frankly. I just stick my head on the block there, but Vasily Kirienka is super strong. I mean, you were commentating on him in Criterium International. Very strong, and they've somehow let him get away.
Look at the presence of Movistar in this group, though.
How good is that? 5 riders in total.
Yeah.
And there are no time bonuses here for getting there, but even so, this man Vasily Kirienka must have 5-6 seconds from at least over the leader's jersey.
Yeah, the bigger part of the group's caught back onto that. The remaining 4. So this is obviously now man against man. Vinokurov versus Kirienka.
Oh, look, you can see that finally the yellow jersey of the team leader is coming back to this group. Has Vasily Kirienka got the win? It's looking that way. Is that Ardelia again going for the line? And Krisanka Sorensen by the look of it. Vasily Kirienka, though, I think has this one in the bag. Terrific ride by Kirienka. Look at this, you can look over his shoulder, he has time to do up the jersey, he slipped the noose and went. Great win by Vasily Kirienka, who gets second? Horner, I think. And that was a terrific win by Vasily. How strong is that man? And tactically very astute.
Well, it's one of the, should we call it school book moves in cycling, where, you know, there's a couple of people messing about and not really taking their turns and starting to look at each other. You come from behind with a little bit more pace. All you do is a seated attack and just kind of swing past and say thank you very much, I'll take that one.
Well, he was 18 seconds down this morning on the start of the day. He won't move into the yellow jersey because Joaquim Rodriguez was not that far behind in the end, but even so, it was a great move. He gets the stage win and he will have moved himself up the overall classification pretty smartly indeed, I would think. At least 5 seconds out of that, so he'll move up into the top 15 or thereabouts. He's at 22nd at the moment.
Yeah, I think it was about, I don't think he got much more than 2 seconds.
2 3 seconds?
2 or 3 seconds in the end, but anyway.
Depends what the other guys got.
Yeah.
Well, we do make mistakes, you know, I'm afraid, Ingmar. It's things we do. Apologies if it was Duarte. It looked like all the world like Ardelia to me. But if we're wrong, we're wrong, I'm afraid. Sorry about that. Vasily Kirienka, take a nice little win there. Handsome margin in the end. Had enough time to do the jersey up to pose for the cameras, but very, very impressive how many riders there were up at the front from Movistar. Kirienka, Claude and Schleck, Frank Schleck that is, I think, going over the line there. Krisanka Sorensen, as we said, Chris Horner, Claude, who took the sprint for second. There is Duarte, so our apologies. 10th for Rodriguez at 2 seconds. Sanchez and Javier Tondo. There's Tondo, very upright stance he has. Was Kevin Sildrez in that group? I wondered who the rider from Quick Step was, and it was whether it was Sildrez looking at it from behind at Benyatin Chalsti.